The house had been demolished 3 years before I knocked on its door. But someone inside was waiting for me. My name is Alex. I was 19 years old, working as a pizza delivery driver in a small college town in upstate New York. This happened in the winter of 2018. I'd been at Tony's Pizzeria for about 8 months, night shift, minimum wage plus tips. My roommate had moved out without paying rent, so I took every shift they offered. On a slow Tuesday night, about 20 minutes before close, the phone rang. The voice on the other end was flat, emotionless, like someone reading words off a page. Large pepperoni pizza, extra cheese. Address 147 Millbrook Road. I wrote it down. Carlos was working the oven. He looked at the address and frowned. Doesn't sound familiar. I showed Tony, the owner. He stared at it for a long time. Don't go out there tonight, he said. I asked why. He just shook his head and walked away. I should have listened. But the pizza was already in the oven, and I needed the money. I boxed it up and headed out. 2003 Honda Civic with a busted heater. The night was cold and miserable. The GPS took me down narrow roads, past the last gas station and an old abandoned furniture store. Then the pavement ended. Gravel turned to dirt. Dirt turned to grass. The GPS said I'd arrived, but there was nothing there. Just trees and darkness. I called the customer's number. Someone answered, but they didn't speak. Hey, this is Tony's. I can't find 147 Millbrook Road. Silence. Then breathing. Slow. Steady. Keep driving. Then the line went dead. I sat there, heart pounding. Keep driving? Into the woods? With no headlights and no road? I put the car in reverse and turned around. Have you ever taken a delivery to an address that didn't seem right? Drop your story in the comments. I drove back to the pizzeria. Tony was still there. He looked at me, then at the pizza bag. You didn't find it, he said. I shook my head. The road just ended. He handed me a 20. For your trouble. I asked him again what was out there. He just said, nothing good. The next night, the phone rang again. Same time, same order, same address. Tony answered it himself, listened for a few seconds, then hung up without a word. His face was pale. The calls kept coming, every night. Tony kept answering, kept hanging up. Then Tony got sick. He called me at 4 in the afternoon. Fever. Couldn't get out of bed. He asked me to cover the shift. I said yes, because I needed the money. 11 p.m. I unlocked the pizzeria. Carlos was already in the kitchen. The phone didn't ring at 11:30 or 11:40. I started to relax. Then it rang at 11:57. I picked it up. The voice was different, excited. You're working alone tonight. I didn't respond. That's good. Come to 147 Millbrook Road. Extra 50 in it for you. Cash. Then they hung up. Carlos tried to stop me, put his hand on my arm. Alex, don't. I pulled away. I'll be fine. The drive felt longer this time. Darker. The trees seemed closer. The pavement ended. I kept driving. And then I saw it. A house. 2 stories. White paint peeling. porch sagging, one window glowing faint yellow on the second floor. The driveway hadn't been there the night before, but there it was. I parked, grabbed the pizza, walked to the porch. The door swung open before I could knock. No one was there. Just darkness, smelling like dust and old wood and something sweet. Flowers left in water too long. "Hello? Pizza delivery?" Silence. A floorboard creaked upstairs. I should have left, but I didn't. I started climbing the stairs. Each step groaned. The wood felt soft, rotten. At the top, a long hallway, 3 doors on the left, 2 on the right. The yellow glow came from the door at the far end. I walked toward it. The floor was solid up here, quiet, like someone had recently replaced it, like someone had been expecting company. I stopped in front of the door. The light bled through the gap at the bottom. I raised my hand to knock. The door opened before I could. The room was empty, but the light wasn't. A single candle sat on the windowsill. The flame flickered. No breeze, no draft. And then I saw what was reflected in the window glass. A person standing behind me. I spun around. No one was there. But the hallway behind me was different now. All the doors were open, every single one. Pitch black inside. And I could hear breathing. Not one person, not 2. Dozens. If you were standing in that hallway, would you run for the stairs or hide in a room? Drop a for run or a for hide? I ran. Down the hallway, past the open doors, past the breathing. Down the stairs, out the front door. I didn't stop until I was in my car with the doors locked. I looked up at the house. The yellow light was gone. Every window was dark. But someone was standing in the upstairs window, watching me leave. I drove home shaking, threw the pizza in the dumpster, sat on my couch with all the lights on and a kitchen knife on the coffee table. I didn't sleep. The next morning, there was a knock on my door. It was Carlos. He looked terrible. "You need to see this," he said. He handed me his phone. A news article. The headline? "Remains of missing person found in demolished home's basement." The address was 147 Millbrook Road. The house had been condemned and scheduled for demolition in 2015, 3 years before I started working at Tony's. But the article said something else. Police had found multiple sets of remains, all wearing uniforms, all carrying empty pizza boxes. The oldest delivery driver had been missing since 2002. Tony had been working at the pizzeria since 1999. I asked Carlos where Tony was. He just shook his head. No one has seen him. Pause the video and drop your theory about Tony in the comments. Then unpause. Here's what I figured out. Tony wasn't just the owner. He'd been the delivery driver who got away. The first one, maybe. The one who saw the house and ran and never went back. So he bought the pizzeria. And for 17 years, he answered that phone every night. And every night, he said no. Until the night he got sick. Until the night I went in his place. and now he's gone. I went to the police. They took a report. I never heard from them again. I quit the pizzeria. Carlos quit. The place shut down. Tony never came back. But sometimes, late at night, my phone rings. Unknown number. No caller ID. I don't answer anymore. But I can see the voicemails. Just breathing. And then a voice. We're still waiting for our pizza. The calls haven't stopped. They never will. I still check my rearview mirror. Every single night. If this story kept you watching, hit subscribe and share it with someone who thinks they don't scare easily. The house is still there, and someone is still waiting inside.